Welcome to Tekedia Daily. I'm Ndubuisi Ekekwe. Our conversation today will focus on inversibility constructs. This is essentially a new construct I am looking into to help us understand how building businesses in the digital domain, how they actually work. You know, one of the most cardinal components of being a digital entrepreneur is essentially inversing everything that happens in the mid space. The mid space here being the physical domain. For example, how do you turn the frustrations people have in the physical business, in the mid space, into something that will be very delightful in the digital domain? You know that when people go to a shopping mall or a supermarket or a market where there are so many crowded people, they are never happy. But the reality there is that when they go to a digital market and they go to e-commerce company like Kunga and Amazon, the more the people, the better the market. Essentially, they have inverted that kind of frustration inherent in the physical domain to become a strength in the digital. We don't like to be in schools where there are so many students packed in very crowded place. Unfortunately, if you go into the digital space, if you go to a classroom where there are not many people, no one is interested in taking that class. You can see from Audacity and also from my FA Cyber, we are seeing that the more the students, the more the value that you are created. So you have inverted that experience in the educational sector. Of course, no one wants to go to a bank where there are so many customers waiting. You don't want to spend a lot of time. But what happens when you go to a digital bank, an e-commerce, a digital banking institution like PayPal, Paystack? The more the people, the better the fun. So that is the construct of inversibility. You are inversing that experience which has become a very, very discomforting element in the physical space and making it into strength in the digital. Of course, we don't like motorbikes. They call them ocho passenger in the southeastern part of the country, or passenger hailers, people that are looking for customers. They make noise every day. You don't like them. But when you go to Uber, a little taxi, you have a mobile app doing that. And the more the noise, the more the aggregation that these apps are doing, the better. And that means that frustration we experience in the physical space has become a strength in the digital. So your job is to inverse the reaction and experiences of people they have in the physical space so that when they come in the digital space, they can actually have that particular thing that frustrates them in the physical space to be a very good experience. And if you fail to do that, you are certainly not going to be a very good digital entrepreneur. How do you do that? I provide here 4 anchors which I have written extensively. The first one is the aggregation construct. You just have to figure out how to bring so many people into an ecosystem. You may not necessarily be the person creating the idea, but you are aggregating ideas. Aggregating comes from different sources. Like for instance, Airbnb, the company that makes it possible for people that are visiting other cities to find where to sleep without necessarily being in a hotel. What they are doing is that they are aggregating homes and now matching them with travelers for them to have a very good experience. And we also have this that internet brings in a diminishing abundance. Of course, you have a small website, it can be accessible by any person in any part of the world. But the more we want to reach more people, the more we actually find that we cannot monetize internet easily. It would have been better for some local newspapers in Nigeria, like this, The Guardian, Punch, to continue to have an expanded distribution base in the physical space, print base, instead of having their newspapers accessible to every part of the world and no one is paying online. So they make it free online for everyone to have access to it. And then most people that would have actually paid for the content will now go online and read it free. So at the end of the day, more people are reading their content, but they are not making a lot of money. because the advertising money they are getting is never enough to cover their expenses. And that is the reason why you see tumor in the media industry. That is also one of the elements you see in the internet business. Of course, internet has this abundant distribution channel. It works for everyone. For instance, my new book, Africa Sankofa Innovation, has been subscribed by people in UK, people in the United States, people in Nigeria, people in Kenya. Why is that possible? Because we are selling it on the web and it has offered us an unbounded, unconstrained distribution channel because it's a digital book. You just go to tekedia.com and you get it. And once you make your payment through PayPal or through a money transfer, you automatically have access to it. Before internet, that would not have been possible because we who have to print the book and now begin to move from one country to the other, where we have to find booksellers that can actually stock the book. But today, we don't have to do that. Then also, internet gives us a construct of marginal cost. If your marginal cost is very low, in short, in a perfect internet market, the marginal cost has to be zero. In other words, the cost of adding an extra additional user to your service must tend to zero. And that is the reason why the solution has to be zero most times. Like if you go to Google, you don't have to pay to use Google search. You don't have to pay to use Facebook because the marginal cost of adding you largely zero to them. And that is a company with what I call scalable advantage. When your marginal cost is low, your scalable advantage goes high because you can add more users without necessarily incurring a lot of cost. And that is one of the key benefits of an internet business. You have to keep the marginal cost low, and that means your marginal price can actually go to zero because it doesn't cost you to add more people. But if you cannot maintain that dynamics, if you cannot maintain that construct, it makes it extremely difficult for you to actually scale. And that is the reason why Facebook can scale easily, Google can scale easily, Twitter can scale easily. But when you now go to big companies, like say for instance Dangote Group, where they are making cement, the marginal cost is not zero because it's not a digital business. It has to cost them something really very significant for them to keep having customers. So as you have all these constructs, your job then is to inverse the experiences of people in the digital space, those pain points, to make them to become the driving anchor pillars that actually bring in the best possible experience in digital space. You could call it network effect or what you call it, but I say it is an inversibility construct. Inverse that experience and make it a strength. You are listening to Tekedia Daily. I'm Ndubuisi.